Being a parent is not easy. It is difficult. But Mrs. Zebedee gives us a valuable example, for she prayed earnestly that her sons would be a part of his kingdom. We need that same concern for our children. We need that same concern for our children. What good is it if our children are successful in making money, driving fine automobiles, and living in good neighborhoods, but they don't know God? What does it matter if they gain the whole world but lose their souls? I hope that in the heart of every mother and father here this morning, there is a burden to go to the throne of God and to pray for your children, to pray that they will be saved from eternal damnation and to eternal life. That is the place to begin. The second thing, the second principle is that she prayed that her sons would be actively involved in the work of his kingdom. That's what she prayed. Now we have to give her credit. Secondly, not only did Mrs. Zebedee pray that her children would be a part of his kingdom, but she prayed that they would be actively involved in the work of his kingdom. Okay, maybe it is not enough just to be saved. Churches are full of people content to fill a pew on Sunday mornings. There are plenty of people willing to sit back and receive the blessings, but seldom do they get involved in doing any of the real work of the church. But when does the spirit of service begin? It begins at home, with mothers and fathers setting the example of praying that their sons and daughters might be involved in the work of the kingdom as teachers and leaders, discipling others that they might be the ones to go out into the world and find the lost, to see that the church continues on until Jesus comes again. Mrs. Zebedee prayed that her children would be actively involved in the work of his kingdom, and we need to walk in her footsteps too. The third thing, she had big expectations. All right, she had big expectations. Thirdly, Mrs. Zebedee had big expectations. When you're working in a kingdom, there are no higher positions than those on the right and left of the king himself. And that's what she wanted for her sons. She didn't just pray that her children would be doorkeepers. She wanted them on the right and the left hand of Jesus. We may consider Mrs. Zebedee brash or presumptuous, but I admire her boldness. Too often people have settled for mediocrity in the church. For too long, some have been content with just barely making it through the door. For too long, they have been content to sit back and let things happen. It is time for some of us to take our positions on the right hand and the left hand, to become leaders, molding and fashioning the outreach of the church, mobilizing to make sure the message of Christ goes into all the world. It is time to strive for excellence, to reach for the very best there is. The Lord calls us to be his disciples and to be effective laborers in his kingdom.